All right, let's dive into the fascinating world of poker. Whether you're a seasoned player or someone who's just curious about the game, understanding how to win at poker can be both thrilling and rewarding. So, grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's break down some essential strategies that can help you elevate your game and maybe even take home a few extra bucks. First things first, let's talk about the most important aspect of poker: understanding the game itself. Poker isn't just about the cards you're dealt. It's about the decisions you make based on those cards and the actions of your opponents. Familiarize yourself with the rules of the specific variant you're playing, whether it's Texas Hold'em, Omaha, or 7-card stud. Each game has its nuances, and knowing the rules inside and out gives you a solid foundation to build on. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty of strategy. One of the key principles in poker is to play tight but aggressive. What does that mean? Well, it means you should be selective about the hands you play. Don't feel pressured to play every hand just because you're at the table. Instead, focus on playing strong starting hands. This doesn't mean you should fold every hand that isn't a royal flush. It's about being strategic. Look for opportunities where you have a good chance of winning, and when you do decide to play aggressively. Bet and raise instead of just calling. This not only builds the pot, but also puts pressure on your opponents, making them second-guess their own hands. Speaking of your opponents, let's talk about reading the table. Poker is as much about psychology as it is about cards. Pay attention to how your opponents are playing. Are they aggressive or passive? Do they bluff often, or do they only bet big when they have a strong hand? Understanding their tendencies can give you a significant advantage. If you notice someone is overly aggressive, you can use that to your benefit by trapping them into making big bets with weaker hands. Conversely, if someone is playing too conservatively, you can push them around a bit and take down pots with less than stellar hands. Now let's not forget about position. In poker, position is everything. The player who acts last in a betting round has the most information about what the other players are doing. Use this to your advantage. If you're in a late position, you can play a wider range of hands because you can see how your opponents are acting before you make your decision. Conversely, if you're in an early position, be more cautious. You don't want to commit to a big pot with a mediocre hand when there are still several players left to act. Another crucial aspect of winning at poker is managing your bankroll. This is something that many players overlook, but it's vital for long-term success. Set a budget for yourself before you sit down at the table, and stick to it. This means knowing when to walk away, even if you're on a winning streak. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of the game, but maintaining discipline is key. If you find yourself going on tilt, getting frustrated and making poor decisions, take a break. Step away from the table, clear your head, and come back when you're feeling more composed. Let's talk about bluffing. The art of deception. Bluffing can be a powerful tool in your poker arsenal, but it's important to use it wisely. You don't want to be the player who bluffs all the time, because eventually, your opponents will catch on. Instead, look for the right moments to make your move. A well-timed bluff can force your opponents to fold better hands, but it requires a good understanding of the table dynamics. If you've been playing tight and then suddenly make a large bet, your opponents might assume you've got something strong. However, if you've been playing aggressively, they might call your bluff more often. It's all about the story you're telling with your bets. Now let's touch on the importance of patience. Poker isn't a game where you can expect to win every hand. There will be times when you'll be dealt garbage cards, and that's okay. The key is to remain patient and wait for the right opportunities. Don't force the action just because you feel like you have to play. Sometimes the best decision is to fold and wait for a better hand. Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. As you continue to play, take the time to reflect on your decisions. After each session, think about the hands you played. What worked? What didn't? Analyzing your gameplay can help you identify patterns and areas for improvement. There are countless resources available online, from forums to instructional videos, where you can learn from experienced players. Don't be afraid to seek out advice and continue honing your skills. Finally, remember that poker is meant to be fun. While the goal is to win, don't lose sight of the enjoyment of the game. The camaraderie at the table, the thrill of a well-played hand, and the excitement of the unknown are all part of what makes poker so appealing. Keep a positive attitude, and don't take losses too personally. Every player, no matter how skilled, has had their fair share of bad beats. So there you have it. A roadmap to help you navigate the exciting and complex world of poker. Play tight but aggressive. Read your opponents, understand your position, manage your bankroll, and don't forget to enjoy the game. With practice and perseverance, you'll not only improve your skills but also deepen your appreciation for this timeless game. Now go out there, hit the tables, and may the odds be ever in your favor.